Will you be my, friend? A Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction written and narrated by Mira Rose, with artwork for the opening and thumbnail image by Only Miraculous Doodles. There's a link to Only Miraculous Doodles in the description box. Go check them out! Now then, as you can tell by the title, this is a compilation video containing all 3 parts of this mini-series. So, if you enjoy it, keep listening. Marinette Dupang Chang. You just gotta do it, girlie, Alia said, her legs draped over the wrong side of the chase. Not all of us can come out of a zoo cage with a relationship, Alex said, not looking up from her phone as she sat, crisscross applesauce, on the floor. Marinette sighed her usual song, her confidence as wavering as the first few dozen times she told her friends today was the day. She couldn't blame them for having bets at this point. What, are you saying I don't have excellent advice? Alia snapped back. I'm just saying your relationship and the one Marinette wants to have are different. What, super awesome and in love? Okay, Marinette cut in. Just who's gonna come with me? Oh, dibs, Alex said, raising her hand. What? No, me. Alia tossed her hair. You know, super awesome best friend. You give questionable advice. What? When? You're a pusher and that's great and all, but Marinette doesn't need any more shoves. Alex stood up and grabbed her hand. Come on, let's go. Who's the pushy one now? Marinette heard Alia call as she stepped through the threshold, led by an unexpected ally. Good riddance. Alex turned back and shot a smile once they were downstairs. Anyway, flowers, right? Yeah, right. They walked, hand in hand, to the flower shop, and while she wasn't used to this kind of contact with Alex, it was a source of strength and comfort. In a way she hadn't realized, this was something she needed. Thank you, Marinette said. No problemo, friendo, Alex winked, and she laughed. Silly girl. She'd get along well with Cat, if only she was a superhero now instead of the future. You ready? To woo the guy of my dreams? She joked, sighing. Never. Gonna do it anyway? Hope so. Well, let's stick to the plan. And hey, if it doesn't work out, ice cream's on me today. As in, rejection or me running away again. Whichever. Alex adjusted her sucker with her free hand. Come on, dude. I have it on order. Huh? Oh, so you don't overthink it. I already got the bouquet ready to go. Oh! Her eyebrows shot up. Thank you. Sure enough, a bouquet waited at the front desk, already paid for. A simple arrangement, but that's all right. It's going to be strange enough as is, isn't it? Giving a guy flowers. Okay, yeah, we can do this. She could do this. She could ask Adrien out with flowers. Oh, it's hopeless. Or hopelessly romantic? At this point, any confession was a good one, considering her past attempts. I wish he could just realize I like him, she whined into the flowers, covering her face with the petals in embarrassment. That's not his job, though. Alex unwrapped another sucker. To notice, I mean. Huh? You and Adrien have a weird relationship, no doubt, but he trusts you. The statement was bold enough to cut her anxiety for a moment. What do you mean? He trusts you to tell the truth, right? So, like, if I were him, I wouldn't think you liked me because if you did, you'd tell me. She couldn't help but laugh. Yeah, right. I'm serious. I wouldn't be surprised if he wondered about it now and then before shrugging it off. It's not like he hasn't noticed when girls liked him before. Marinette couldn't tell if her words comforted or stung. Alex was right. It's never someone's job to realize if someone likes them, but were they really close enough for trust, as she said? Was all of this him trusting her she'd tell him her feelings if she ever developed them? By that logic, Marinette said, her heart sinking, then he would tell me if he liked me. Wait. Alex jogged ahead and turned around, her hands up to mediate. That's not what I meant, dude. This is Adrien we're talking about. Well, I guess we'll know which of us is right in a bit, won't we? Marinette pressed on a smile and tried to keep herself from hyperventilating as each step brought her closer to Mr. Perfect. Marinette, dude. Alex kept walking backward. He literally calls you everyday Ladybug. So, worst case scenario, he doesn't like you, right? Thanks, Alex. No, wait, listen. If he doesn't like you already, it's probably because he thought you weren't emotionally available. So, confessing will put you in a different light. You were right, Marinette said, her ribcage rumbling like bees in a hive, prickling her arms with their stingers. Your support differs from Alia's. I'll still let you chicken out if you want to. Actually, I think I'm good. Yeah? Yeah, you're right. Marinette could see Adrien and Nino now, chilling on the park benches 6 feet away from the other. I mean, I think you're the only one who pointed out what our relationship already is. I did what now? This was still scary, but she could do it. Alex was right. Adrien trusted her, and she should return that trust. She should return his trust by trusting that he wouldn't abandon their friendship even if he didn't, or didn't want to, like her back. Adrien? She yelled, capturing the attention of the entire park. Oops. He looked up and grinned. Oh, hey, Marinette, Adrien called back with a wave, standing up and starting her way. Oh no. Oh no. Adrien, will you? Her legs turned to jelly. What's with the flowers? He asked, now a couple meters away. Will I what? Marinette looked down at the flowers, then up at him. Sugar and cookies, she made a fool of herself either way. Will you be my, She got down on a knee and offered the flowers up to him, her face as pink as the petals. Boy. The word got caught in her throat, barely a whisper. No, she had to be strong and resolute. Friend? She yelled. Will I be your friend? Adrien laughed and took the flowers from her, and here I thought we already were. Marinette felt her face freeze. Oh, not again. Why couldn't she speak up? She needed to fix this. But their friends were here. Correcting him would mean embarrassing him, right? I mean, I've never said it with flowers before, so... She let herself chuckle, muscles tight and eyes stinging. She'd messed up again. Come on, dude. Alex patted her on the back. I'll buy you ice cream. Ice cream? Adrien tore his eyes away from the flowers. Can I come? No way. I don't want your brain to freeze any more than it already is. Huh? Don't worry about it, golden boy. Marinette allowed herself to be led away, muscles stiff and heart racing. Why? Why was she so incapable of telling the boy she liked that she liked him? Isn't that what she wanted? Tightening her grip on Alex's hand, Marinette let her tears flow once they were far enough away. This wasn't on Adrien. This was on her. This was on her, and all Marinette could do was try again for the 1000th time. But first, ice cream. Part 2. Adrien aggressed. Despite his best efforts, Adrien couldn't ignore Nino's gaze. "What?" he asked, drawing the flowers to his face to refresh their smell in his nose. No, nuh-uh, dude. Nino crossed his arms. Not cool. What is? Did he want to smell the flowers too? Do you have selective hearing or something? Or has the water in your ears clogged up your brain as well? Water? I haven't gone swimming recently. Nino sighed, shaking his head. You really can't pick up on context clues, dude. Adrien mulled the comment over. Oh, was the ice cream a girl's day out? Should I not have asked? At least you're cute, Alia said, frowning at her phone as she sat on a park bench. You guys are strange. He pursed his lips and furrowed his eyebrows. What context did I miss, exactly? Nino and Alia exchanged glances, their eyebrows raised and expressions matching. You don't think there's anything strange about her giving you flowers? She asked. Who? Marinette? She gives me stuff all the time. He realized how that might come across poorly. I mean, so do I. You know, I make sure to treat her as well. That's what friends do, after all. Right? Then again, he and Nino didn't really do that. But he figured it was him saving up to spend his coins on Alia instead. Was it strange that he and Marinette had this back and forth doting on the other? Wasn't it just their thing? He felt his internal processor overheating and sighed, hoping the breath would cool him down. Why does it feel like you two know something I don't? Adrien asked, crossing his arms. Do we tell him? Nino said. Alia bumped hips with him. Don't you dare, she hissed. Come on, guys. Adrien felt a familiar foe tug underneath his eyes. Can we just... Dude, she asked you to be her boyfriend. Adrien stared as Alia all but tackled Nino as he spoke, but it wasn't the display that shocked him. What? No. He laughed it off. She asked me to be her friend. Oh, tricks and berries. Alia sighed into her hand. I've read LadyNoir fanfiction better written than this. Huh? You. She walked up and jabbed a finger into his chest. She asked you out, and you said you were already friends. So no ice cream for you. Suddenly, the flowers in his arms didn't smell so sweet. Marinette likes me? You're impossible! She put a hand on his shoulder. Yeah, for a while now. Oh. That's it? Nino called from behind her. Adrien felt a fog rolling over his brain. I'm gonna, Turning without looking, he walked straight into a garbage can as he tried to leave. Slick. Nice move, Agrest. But hey, He just told a girl he'd like to stay friends without knowing she'd confess to him. So did he really have any face to save today? But also, Marinette liked him? Since when? Adrien! Plagg groaned, popping out. The cheese store! You promised! What? Oh, yeah, sure. He kept walking, concentrating on not damaging the bouquet in his arms. Adrien, you missed it! We have to turn around! Huh? Adrien realized he was closer to home than the cheese store, and that his driver must be frantic by now. Oops. How about we get it delivered? He checked his phone and, sure enough, text after text begged him to call instead of going home without him. He sighed, used Siri to voice text him, and kept walking. Moments later, the car turned around the corner and he got in, watching the last 2 blocks drag by in traffic before turning into the Agreste mansion grounds. Was this really necessary? Well, at least his driver hadn't heckled him over the flowers in his arms. 10 minutes later, he was at his desk replaying his afternoon with an oncoming headache, his body tired from the mental fatigue he put on himself. Adrien? He sat up at Natalie's call from the door. Yes? Your delivery is here. He pushed himself away from his desk, the wheels of his chair carrying him farther than he meant to go, and hurried over to find a box that went past her hips. Thankfully, she didn't press questions as to why Leon's cheese store would send over a box so big in the first place. Got it, Adrien said, trying to pick it up only to find he had to throw his weight against it for it to budge. How had she gotten it up here? I've got it from here. I can see that. Natalie pushed up her glasses and turned tail on him, leaving him to huff and puff until he either got it in the room or asked for help. With no help from his Kwame, with the exception of a lightened kilo of cheese Plagg snagged once they were alone, Adrien pushed the box inside, fighting the lip in the doorway. Maybe he shouldn't have requested extra privacy for his bedroom. Then again, he was a superhero, so shouldn't he be able to move 100 kilos of cheese by himself? How had Natalie gotten it up here in the first place? You know, Adrien grunted as he threw his weight into the box. Many hands make light work. I don't have thumbs, Adrien. Plagg planted himself atop the cardboard, smirking up at him. Just for that, I'm gonna trade you in for another Kwame. What, are you giving up on your trademark Ladybug and Cat Noir because a little mouse likes you? His balance slipped and he fell into the box, tipping it over and scattering cheese into the bedroom. What? What? A Plagg, that's not... He ran a hand through his hair. Did you know too? You're denser than a block of Parmesan, kid. Okay, so he knew about it too. Was Adrien the only one who didn't know about the latest cat's meow? The rest of the afternoon didn't fare well in his favor either. He couldn't concentrate, mulling himself back to the moment where Marinette, on one knee, offered him flowers. Had she really said boyfriend? Did he have selective hearing? Even Nightfall didn't have the answers for him, and he tossed and turned until, finally, he had a response. He had a response for Marinette, but it would have to wait until his 2 a.m. inspiration passed to check if it was actually a good idea. It wouldn't be the first time he took an idea he came up with while stimming, and sometimes you have to protect yourself from your own tomfoolery. Thankfully, Adrien shut down Plagg's whining from getting up early with a literal hoard of cheese sitting next to his piano and stumbled down the street to the flower shop, careful to not get caught by the Agreste security whilst sneaking out. He transformed into Cat Noir last minute when he realized he didn't want paparazzi photos of him finding their way to Natalie or his father when he was where he shouldn't be. Taking off his mask and trudging up the stairs to the door in front of Marinette's living room, Adrien knocked, tightening his grip on the bouquet he'd gotten. She opened the door, her greeting smile tightening as she recognized him. "Adrien!" Marinette exclaimed.
Hey, so,
He cleared his throat and lowered himself to a knee, offering up the flowers.
Will you be my,
Oh. This was hard.
My, will you be my...
Oh, this wasn't a good idea. Be your? Marinette's knuckles were white as she clung to the doorframe, but her still-tight expression couldn't translate in his brain. "Friend!" he burst out. Wait. No. That's not how the script was supposed to go. Her face fell with a smile still pressed. Yeah. Would you like to come in? She gestured to the living room, her movement as stiff as her smile. Ugh, Camembert. He'd outdone himself this time, hadn't he? Thanks, Marinette, he said, defeat fighting itself into his voice. This must be the universe's payback. Karma keeps receipts, and now he couldn't tell if his heart thumped in embarrassment or because of Marinette. He wasn't sure if he liked her, but he wanted to find out. But okay, fine, universe. He'd spend a day with her as a friend before figuring out what to do next. Part 3. Marinette Dupang Chang. Marinette was as nervous as a lobster in a grocery store tank. Adrien was here, in her living room, and she was also here, in her living room, putting flowers he brought her into a vase. Once she cut through her nervousness, however, she felt like a fool. Why, oh why did she think he was going to accept her confession? Because he brought her flowers? Psh, no! He was probably returning the gesture she messed up yesterday. They were friends. He treated his friends well. He probably bought Nino some flowers too. Still, her heart fluttered as she looked from the assortment to him, sitting on the couch like a model. Did he sit like that because he was trained to? Are models trained to sit? Well, Adrien would look like a model no matter how he sat, wouldn't he? You okay? Adrien tilted his head to the side as he looked up from his phone. What? Yeah! She turned her attention back to the flowers. Oops. These are lovely. Yeah. Lovely, he echoed, sliding his phone in his pocket. Wanna get breakfast? Have you had breakfast? Breakfast? It was nearly 10. Of course she'd had breakfast. No, I haven't. Great. His face split into a heart-stopping grin. My treat? I insist. He stood up and took his phone back out, pressing his screen a few times. Let's go. Marinette stared at the hand he held out, unsure what to do with it. Yeah, she said, frozen in place. He twisted his arm to grab her hand, leading her out and down the stairs to the car waiting for them. Where are we going? She managed to ask as they buckled in. Just this little place I know. He took her hand again, and this time she didn't know how to respond. A stumbling Marinette in the hallway of her home is one thing, but purposeful handholding was another. This wasn't a prank, right? No. Adrien wouldn't do this kind of thing. Felix? She asked, narrowing her eyes.
What?
He turned to her, his mouth twisted open enough for her to see his teeth as his eyebrows furrowed. Yeah, you're not Adrien. Marinette tugged her hand away, crossing her arms and staring out the window.
Hold up.
He tried to grab her hand again.
I'm not Felix.
Sounds like something Felix would say. Not Adrien narrowed his eyes.
You tripped on the first day of class.
What? She leaned in to observe, but now doubted her conclusion. Macaroons. Adrien bit his lip, twisting it into a smile. Macaroons everywhere. Oops. I take it back, she said, scooting herself into a properly safe car position.
What, you don't want more examples?
How could the grin of an angel look like a devil? I'm good, thanks.
Or in the wax museum?
Sugar and cookies. Okay, Adrien. No need to tease. His face froze and he looked away.
Sorry,
he said, gazing at the ground before looking at her. His grin held strong.
Sometimes you're an easy tease.
For you, Chloe wouldn't be able to fluster her like this. Adrien's eyebrows shot up at the comment, and his hand covered his face.
You know, when you act like that...
Huh?
Never mind.
No, what?
He ran a hand through his hair. Sometimes you get this, cheeky side to yourself, and it's, cute. It's cute.
Cute? Marinette questioned her ears. Did she hear that right?
Yeah.
Adrien looked away.
Cute.
Oh, come on! Don't make this awkward. Cuter than Ladybug? She asked, trying to crack a joke. Maybe her eyes need to be checked, because it almost looked like he blushed at the remark.
We're here,
he said. He replied, undoing his seatbelt and opening the door, going around the back of the car to open hers. Oh. That's a nice gesture. Wait. Was this a date? No way. They were just getting breakfast together. Just breakfast. Together. As clearly defined friends. Nothing more. Breakfast. Just breakfast. Except, well, he offered his hand as she stepped out. Should she take it? Was she supposed to? Did he want to hold hands, or was he offering it just for the step above the curb? Was this how rich people acted? Had he done this before? She couldn't remember. Calm down, Marinette. Calm down. But she didn't. Marinette couldn't calm down, even over easy eggs and seasoned avocado toast. Even the champagne flutes they drank orange juice out of were fancy. Marinette felt out of place in her day-old makeup and ripped jeans. Sure, Adrien might also be in jeans, but he looked like he belonged here. Was that a confidence thing? Hey, Adrien? Marinette worked up the courage to ask.
Yes?
He'd spent a bit too much time observing his chocolate ice cream. Why? It wasn't the way she wanted to ask, but it was the way it came out.
Why?
He repeated. Is this
Date? He finished for her. Sure. Her eggs almost resurfaced atop her sundae. Really? She couldn't think in sentences. So, Adrien cleared his throat, still not looking at her. I can't say I, like you, but I'm down to try. Down to try? I'm not asking you to go out with me, he said, reaching across the table, but I'd like it if you could let me figure this out with a few dates, if you're willing. You're asking me to date you, but not date you? I guess. He shrugged, a sheepish look on his face. Sorry, that might make me sound like a jerk or something. It was out of place, but Marinette couldn't help but laugh. And each release of air unwrapped the corset holding her anxiety. This wasn't anything to be upset over. It was a chance. This was her chance. Well, if you like awkward responses and a girl who will be anything but graceful when you ask to hold hands, then yes. Huh? I'll try. Dating you, that is. Going on dates, he corrected. Yeah, dating you. Marinette felt her face burn, but not going out. It was his turn to turn pink. Great, yeah. So, we're dating? But not going out. Marinette felt the butterflies in her chest flutter past the point of no return. Her emotions broke free, filled with the sweet nectar they'd fed on in the cage of her heart for so long. I'm going on dates with Adrien Agreste. I'm going on dates with Marinette. Cool. How was one supposed to keep a conversation going after that? So then, can we go to a movie tomorrow? Or something? Adrien was still pink from the conversation. Then, maybe make something together at the bakery? Together? Did that come out as a squeak? Yeah. Together. Marinette looked down at the sundae, grateful to have something cold in such a warm atmosphere. Together it is. Sounds like a date. Yeah. A date with, dare she say it? Friend. She could tell Adrien saw the twinkle in her eye and couldn't help but return her smile. Friends. Yeah. They were friends, and they would still be friends even if this didn't work out. Friends. Friends who decided to start going on dates together. At the end of a very embarrassing 24 hours, Marinette felt grateful for her confession. Truly, being Adrien Agreste's friend was the best thing ever. Thank you so much for listening. That was Will You Be My, Friend? A Miraculous Ladybug Fanfiction written and narrated by Mira Rose. If you haven't already, give this video a like if you liked it, and hit the subscribe button and hit that bell for notifications. Bonus points if you leave a comment to help the YouTube algorithm. If you don't know what to comment, put best friends. Thank you so much for listening. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!